Hello, hello, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. I don't know why I said it like divine instead of just like divine. I'm gonna step away from all that creaking for a second. Last time we went through all of Chapter 27 here, progressing through RF Tools dimensions and unlocking us various things to take from other dimensions, as well as getting us a little ways into Chapter 28 here, unlocking things like EMC with the Transmutation Tablet, and the Watch of Flowing Time, which has been put to great use in many places around the base. Currently, I've been rebolstering things like our essentias because we need purifying bath salts for purifying fluid for solar ingots for draconic cores. I expect a lot of these rabbit holes will quickly be popping up in the coming future. Chapter 29, I imagine, is going to put our literally everything to the test, as I'm starting to realize how much of literally everything goes into literally everything. As I was saying earlier, solar ingots, we need the solar dust, which needs its purifying fluid, which needs the bath salts. So we need Victus, Aqua, Cognitio, Census, and Ordo all fast enough to keep up with all of that demand, which is a lot of things to worry about. So between episodes, I've been coming through here and upgrading some of the various smelteries to Thaumium tier, adding auxiliary pumps and alembics, and basically just increasing all the input buffers, or increasing the input buses with acceleration cards. And then just adding the watch to whatever really needs a quick bolster. It's loud, but, it's working. I honestly kind of giggle to myself when I hear, so much creaking. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to go let that run for a little bit, and let's talk about some other stuff, because we have a lot to talk about. For one, I added our silicon seeds that I made quite a while ago and just kind of never planted ever to our Tier 6 crop, which feels a little wrong, but we had a need for it. Up until now, we had plenty of silicon through our material stonework factories that we got way back in, Chapter 11. But we've been needing the 384K storage components, or the 16KKs, as I like to call them. And these take 12,000 silicon a pop, so it's been kind of eating at our backlogs. Well, not eating at our backlogs, we just simply did not have a large enough buffer for this. Also, it seems like calculation circuits are being a problem. I should go do something about that. Yeah, the base has kind of been falling apart lately. We've been kind of needing, everything, as I mentioned earlier. I increased our buffer for Wyvern cores quite a lot, because I think we're going to need a lot of these. I did some rough numbers, and I think we need a total of 10 energy condensers to finish out the pack, give or take. I could also be not reading everything correctly, which is a total of 420 Wyvern cores per condenser, and we need 10 of them. So that's 4,000 Wyvern cores, which is obscene. Because that's 16,000 draconic cores, which is obscene. But more than that being 16,000 draconic cores, that's 64,000 tenebrae. What am I going to do about that? That's a problem. So I've been spending a lot of time idling, frankly, just having this open while doing other stuff. As well as I made a few more inscribers to keep our alchemy tables running a bit faster. This is helping. Everything's not running full tilt, but it's going faster for sure. We also have a lot more space for the next, what's probably going to be 4 things we need to automate here. If they're anything like Osgo Glass, I imagine they're going to be a full row by themselves, but yeah, maybe not, it depends on what our needs will be. If you recall last time, you remember that I turned out the sun, which doesn't always work, so I made a button to do that. Well, it did it before. I don't know why it's not doing it now. Basically, I just added some command blocks up here where the sun don't shine to run through a game rule. Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing it, because it was working earlier. I don't know, maybe I need to add more delay to it. I don't know, it's something I'll worry about later. It's not a requirement or nothing. Alright, I lied, I just went and fixed it. It was just adding another repeater to it. So now we have a button that turns off the lights whenever the lights turn back on, which happens quite frequently. I think it's whenever I go to the Dark Realm and come back, or whenever I load the world again, stuff like that. Which is kind of odd that that's what on solar eclipses your eclipse, but whatever. It's important to me that the world looks cool, and I hope you agree. Yeah, a lot of time I spent between episodes was just increasing buffers and speeding up machines and processes and the like. But for this episode, I have a relatively straightforward set of stuff. I would like 2, maybe 3 Energy Condenser Mark IIs. Ideally 3. We can get by with 2. I would then like to automate Death Protection Poppets, because that's our 3rd step, that is those Corruption Cores. We need a stack of Death Protection Poppets per Corruption Core, and we need a lot of those. And then we'll make some creative stuff and maybe get Neutronium and hopefully get some Fusion, because Fusion's really good and very strong. I've also been crafting up these machine stabilizers for the High Voltage Plasmafier. I have basically most of the machine done. Like I said last time, I was gonna chip away at this between time, while I was just kind of working on other stuff. And we basically have the last craft of stabilizers to go, and I think we could build the thing. Well, almost. You see, the actual blueprint needs these essences of atomic fusion, and these we cannot make yet because we do not have access to TNT singularities. Unlike our typical singularities, these are made in a Neutronium compressor, which we do not have. Albeit we could make it, mostly. I think we can make it. I think we have all these things. I'm pretty sure we have americium. If we don't have it, then it's from, like, red matter, I think. Which is very possible. We just, haven't gotten around to it yet. We'll worry about it once we actually need to make the Plasmafier. Because frankly, we don't need to make the Plasmafier until we can actually make fusion. Because the entire reason I want the Plasmafier is for fusion. Because the Plasmafier lets you make the essence of matter lets you make the fusion controller, and that lets the world go round. Overall, it's been very expensive to build the Plasmafier, but we've been doing it. It has really ripped through our dimetine and Rustonia supplies. Like, we have 0 empowered Rustonia because it's all going into steaming. And it looks like our dimetine's starting to finally stockpile back up. We've been using the laser focus to get more of these faster. And it's helping, but, as you saw, the Rustonia is still at 0. Yeah, we're like halfway to buffering steaming Rustonia, and empowered Rustonia will start buffering after that to 32 stacks of blocks this time. So hopefully that'll see us to the finish. Anyway, I was putting some of the stuff together for a alchemical chest, which is not the condenser, but we need some Neptunium. And Neptunium we can get from the highly radioactive dimension-splitting compounds, so we probably actually have quite a lot of this stuff just kind of laying around at the moment. Yeah, and that should let us make our first alchemical chest. It's just a fancy chest, but it is quite a fancy chest. Alright, next up, we've got a big one. We have a pretty big one here. This is the Energy Condenser. This is an iconic block. But more than its iconicity, that's probably a word, is its price. So let's start small. So we need neodymium, corrupted draconium, dysprosium, covalence dust, these efficiency essences, some more alchemical singularities, these stabilizer cores. We're going to need one of these for the next tier up again. Some of this stuff isn't too bad, like the covalence dust, the corrupted draconium, and I think the neodymium isn't too bad. Dysprosium's not too bad. I believe this is just dark matter, which is just EMC and thus void metal and thus free. But a lot of steps before things become just free, which is something that's interesting about this late game. So while we have a bunch of the longer term stuff crafting, like 4 penultimate machine frames, let's talk about the stuff that isn't familiar here, like these mediocre efficiency essences to start. These are a corrupted core each because of the corrupted dragon token, but everything else here is pretty much free. Just takes a while for the cadmium. It also takes the Ziskback sheets, which are a little pricey and a little annoying. They're better than they used to be, but they are still a whole lot of scandium and this zirkitrid beryllium alamide. But thankfully a lot of these chemical steps should be faster with the watch, I hope at least. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But this Chaos Stabilizer core sucks. Just looking at it already, it's 4 chaotic cores, right? Well, and a fission controller. Okay, maybe it's 8 chaotic cores. Oh, what's this thing take? Oh, maybe it's 9 chaotic cores. Oh, 11 chaotic cores? 12 chaotic cores? 13? 15? 17? Yeah, so each of these things, if my math was right, is about 17 chaotic cores. Not to mention anything that might take, extra cores. Like, say, the alchemical machine frame, taking another chaotic core. So that's 18. So it's a lot of chaotic cores per thing. And we need, would you believe it, another one for the Mark II. Oh, and of course these efficiency essences with a plus sign. That's 4 of the previous ones. So that becomes 8 chaotic cores for these 2 efficiency essences, plus 18 for this core, plus another 2 awakened cores in total for the machine frames. It's like 28 chaotic cores just to upgrade the Energy Condenser Mark 1 to Mark 2. But at least that's the bulk of the price, right? It could be worse. It could be you have to make 2 of them to upgrade it. See, the joke here for anyone not really familiar is that the price for this used to actually be 2 alchemical chests for Mark 1 and 2 Energy Condenser Mark 1s for Mark 2. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? This used to be like twice as expensive. Can you believe that? What would we do if Threefold did not say how much he hated that? No, they probably would have changed it anyway. Wow, I can hardly believe it. Well, we can actually craft 2 of these big ball cores. Albeit it probably helps that we have 36 chaotic cores already in stock. Overall, it doesn't seem too bad, I think. It's just a whole lot of chemicals, so we'll move the watch over there. Let's see if we can't just go to Mark II. That takes a long time to charge. I guess it is 16 billion RF. Ouch. Well, I mean, the power cost ain't that bad. But hey, our cores are done. By that, I mean both of them. Can I place this? Ooh, neat. So we can place one here and get a normal condenser. And we need to make some better covalence dust before we can upgrade it one more time. So this one is an alchemical singularity plus the medium, which is an energy singularity. These ones kind of suck to make, honestly, but I think we'll be fine. Plus the infused diamonds and the low covalence dust, which is a dusty singularity. Oh my gosh, so many singularities, man. It's like a singularity. Well, the last of our efficiency essence is finished crafting. We shouldn't just sit here twiddling our thumbs. Let's look at death protection poppets. So for the most part, we can do most of these things. Magical leather, the runes of greed we have on passive. Heaven extract is craftable. Life crystals are also auto-craftable, but they're a little weird for us. We're missing nitrogen, which is from nitrate, which is from niter. So we'd have to set up an extra few crystallization steps for that, more than likely. Which all things considered isn't too bad. I think the rest of the stuff we have mostly passive, question mark, I hope. But we also have these potions of second chance. Frustratingly, there's no thermal machine that can do this. Oh, we could use a potion brewer, actually. Okay, that helps a lot. I thought we were gonna have to use the bottling machine. Okay, no, we could just, we can use this thing. Okay, that probably helps a lot. Never mind, I was really dreading this. Oh, that was a quest, okay. So we need netherwort for awkward potions, glistering melons for the potions of healing, glowstone to amplify it, and then the very fancy golden apples to turn it into second chance. So I guess we should probably passive this. I think we have enchanted apples passive, right? No. Dang it, man. I'm tired of adding more enchanters to that wall. It takes so much effort out the backside. I mean, like, outside the wall. Be cool about that line. Oh, we do have enchanted apples. Oh, because they're called magical apples. Got it. Yep. So at this point, the main thing that's holding us back from death protection poppets is triglyceride, which we get from, like, wool, which is not hard. But also hydrogen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Phosphorus is quite easy, we can melt down flesh. Hydrogen is theoretically easy, because we just melt down water for it. But the issue with that is a lot of our hydrogen is going into making methane here, which we need like a lot of, so it's important to have this big backlog. But this thing, it just takes forever. So maybe the watch will help here, but I don't know if it really will. You know, like that's 30 stacks to go, and that was a lot of time for each of those, you know what I mean? Yeah, like even like this with the watch, we spend so much time just kind of sitting here waiting for the water buckets to come back. Like it'll come back, it's just taking a while. Maybe it's worth lowering the buffer on methane, because I think a lot of this was just kind of burned to get our butane backlog, but I don't entirely know. Maybe we don't need all this stuff, but maybe we do. I guess we'll find out, right? We'll lower this to like a 2-stack buffer instead, and hopefully that'll be okay. Well, in either circumstance, we are still left with nitrogen being needed. And once again, I'm running into this issue where the wall is too full. Oh, hey! That's good timing, I think. I'm gonna be real, I totally forgot that was even happening. But hey, check this out. Man, what a sight to behold. So we can set a target item here, throw a bunch of garbage in on this side with any input, and then pull it all out on this side with any export. So we could theoretically passive something like dark matter if we wanted to, but like I don't really feel a need to do that, I'm gonna be honest. At least not right now, Maybe I will later, but at this point, I feel comfortable not using this, because it's just so expensive and I don't want to make another one. Mainly because these condensers are used in this creative storage upgrade, not to be confused with vending. Vending comes later. This would let you hold like an obscene amount of stuff into a drawer. But I mean, 1, we don't really need to do that. 2, we don't need to do that for the cost of a condenser, that's for sure. But we need 2 of these for each creative dank null, and that kind of gets us off to the races. So we do need to make another one of these, and then also some other stuff. So I'm gonna go set up some crystallizers, I'm gonna go see if I can make another condenser, and we'll talk about the other things that go into making a creative dank null. Alright, so it's been like an hour, maybe 2, I don't know. I've increased a whole lot of buffers, I have run out of a whole lot of things. We have 0 magical leather, because I've used it all for star leather for crystalline, or crystaltine. We started running low on the blood leather, so I put some speed upgrades in that, and hopefully that's fine. It probably isn't, but you know, that's what the watch is for. We are almost done with a second condenser. We're just waiting on some efficiency essence here, which is just scandium and the Ziskback sheets, which, I mean, of course, scandium takes forever. It always does. I'm crafting up some more heaven extract for some more death poppets. And overall, I think we'll be able to make these once we start buffering again on magical leather. So let's look at what we need to actually continue forward past that. So these corruption cores need a lot of death cores and thus corrupted cores. This is liquid death. We can automate this, but we don't need like a ton of this, so it's fine. We'll just on-demand this, I think. Importantly, we need these corruption cores for oak creative bookcases. This is our first creative item, and it's a bookcase. Can you believe that? What a tease. So we need these dungeon bookshelves that we got from the Dungeon of Arcana. We don't need these basically. We already got them. So let's actually just go put these in the table. Then we need another 10 of these oak bookcases, which are pretty cheap it looks like. My mistake, it was 20 of them. And we need 8 Taste of Rainbow. These are rainbow stone, rainbow slates, and rainbow tablets, but that's not too bad, honestly. Should be able to just set a recipe for this and call it a day. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Alright, so this will give us 2 oak creative bookcases once we have the death protection poppets for this. And we need 2 of the bookcases, plus 2 of the infinite storage upgrades. Plus we need 4 of these Mark 6 dank nulls. And this thing, we'll come back to that. The storage upgrades, we're currently just waiting on condensers, and then we'll look at these creative modifiers. But let's do these dank nulls real quick. I imagine we're going to need a few of these, so let's just put in some patterns, I think. Well, I mean, this is so many patterns. I don't think we need that many dank nulls. I think we need, what, like 2? If my math was right. So let's just make like, I mean, who cares? We'll make like 3, right? Oh, these emerald dank null panels take singularities. Okay. And I think we're gonna need 60 of these black hole units. Can we even do that? No crafting CPUs available. Also, we need more soul vials. We can probably craft like 30 of these then. I'm sorry, 76,000 conductive iron? What are we talking about? Holy. Okay, this might take a while. Okay, well, while 72,000 conductive iron does whatever 72,000 conductive iron is doing, let's look at the rest of the pieces for these, because we need 2 of these. Yes, per creative dank null. So we need the creative modifiers, which is this quest up here. So we need some protactinium, which we get 4 per white matter. In total, we're going to need 4 of these creative modifiers. So we're going to need 32 protactinium, which is going to be 2 stacks of white matter. Cool! Alright, well I guess I'm going to get to burning some void metal, because, oh, that was not even close to... Okay, this is going to be a while. Okay, so I'm like hoping we really don't have to do that again. Because we had like 130,000 blocks of void metal 5 minutes ago, and now we have 95,000. You know, 1 dank null ate a quarter of our void metal. Also, I should go increase the speed of the void metal autocrafter. Oh, did I need to hold some... Oh, dang it. Alright, so now we need 4 gold singularities each, 4 silky jewels each, an energetic alloy singularity each, as well as 8 golden furies, which thankfully can be EMC'd through the Fury Fire. But I think they said 4 of these, right? So we need another 32 golden furies, so hopefully these seem a lot less expensive than the white matter was, which that makes sense, right? Oh, also the efficiency essence is finished, so that's our second Mark II. Very cool. Okay, this is our actual first creative item. A humble creative modifier. Let's make a few more. And a stack of dark matter for our troubles. Very cool. So we technically have 2 options now. We could get the creative coolant port and steam generators, but I don't know. I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Oh, also we need fusion for this because of Oganesson? And normally I'm John pronunciation, but I'll skip that one today. That one just confused me. Alright, and then we need 2 of these, which we can almost do, actually. Again, we're just, no, we can just do this, right? Yeah, check that out. Creative storage. It's not quite vending, but it's pretty good. So I guess we can cross that off the list and that off the list. I mean, I think we did that, right? Yeah, we can almost craft our full stack of poppets we need for a corruption core. I should go put the watch down there again. Well, I guess we can also take a look at the essence of enlargement at this point. We also need one of these for the dank null. So this is a whole lot of Rutherfordium, a whole lot of red matter, some fluxed phytogrow, crates, accelerators, a couple overgrowth seeds. Really the only thing I think I'm particularly worried about here is the chaos stabilizer core and the Rutherfordium, but we've made like 6 of these already, so I mean, this is kind of par for the course, right? Okay, 2 corruption cores. I've been here for so long today. Another off the list. Okay, now we can make some bookcases. Boom, 2 creative bookcases. Nice. Oh, did I ever request the stabilization core? Oh, please tell me I did. Yes. Okay, good. I forgot to be working on the rest of this stuff, so I gotta go put the rest of the Essence of Enlargement here. Oh boy. I forgot where Rutherfordium comes from. Well, at least I made the compound beforehand. Alright, and a little while later, we can now make a first Essence of Enlargement. Would you believe that we actually ran out of fertilizer? We're running out of fertilizer, like that stuff you farm from cow dung. I needed to triple the amount of cows in there, and it's still not fast enough, so we might need to make more. I think literally everything is falling apart today. This is not good. Oh my god, 16 corrupted cores. Okay, well that's nice at least. Alright, Danknull time. We only need 2 of these, so we're halfway there. In terms of everything we need at least. Oh yeah. Man, I would love to have one of these to place blocks with, but nope. Not yet. Maybe later, but not today. Alright, so to upgrade this to our mills, which is the next step, we're going to need 4 Dragon Egg mills and 4 white matter. I don't think that's that bad, actually. So thank goodness we can let at least some buffers restock. I would use this for GP power, but I don't really think we need to. Or no, it's just GP, isn't it? Not GP power, huh? Alright, so at this point we can start going down this pathway to the creative energy cell, but I don't want to do that. I want Neutronium. So we're gotta go up here to Anti-Gravity Hands, which is back in chapter 28. Of course, we're going to take some of these wonderful, wonderful crest rewards first. 18 corrupted dragon tokens. Holy. Yeah, we need to head down this path here. We need to get to this one, and this one, and this one as the actual quest we need. Krypton first. So we need to split hafnium. Next, we need technetium, which is from breaking down radon. Oh, I just realized. I bet we can use the watch to speed up fertilizer. Or the long-term solution, but, well, we don't really need to think too far in the long term, do we? Anyway, now we can combine krypton and technetium to make fission catalysts, instead of the fission coolant units. Next up is protons and electrons, like the individual ones, I guess. So normally we can turn polonium into molybdenum by fissioning it, but when used in weak fusion, it can separate a single hydrogen into a proton and an electron. While that's running, let's look at americium and the Neutronium compressor. We have quite a lot of americium already, so we just need to make this into ingots. And the compressor seems quite doable, actually. I think this is pretty easy for us. We just got like 16 disc back sheets as a quest reward, so that's really nice. Oh, but we need the extreme crafting table. Do we actually have one of those? I don't think we do. I think we used the ultimate on something or other. Yeah, we used it on the Dimlet workbench, so we need to make another one of these. Okay, actually, thankfully, we had a lot of the elite crafting tables spare, so this is actually a lot faster than I thought it was. Or rather than I thought it was going to be. Here we go. There's another extreme crafting table. And I don't really have a good place to put this, so you can sit right here, I guess, right now. Alright, and let's start putting some parts together for this. Oh, disaster. Oh, disaster. Oh, no, this is bad. Okay, we're out of empty cores, which is, like, really, really bad. And we are 3,000 crystalline alloys short of doing stuff. Okay. Lots to think about. So for the simple catalysts, we are out of, it looks like bronze blend is our current bottleneck. Not great. I suppose we could just set up a couple more alloy smelters for that. A crystalline alloy is vivid alloy, which is a problem because we need already like a lot of this stuff. We need vivid alloy and the energetic silver for techie singularities, as well as obviously the crystalline alloy. Elevadium I don't think is an issue. I think this is fine currently with our current way of making this stuff. But this is problematic. This is very, very problematic. So here's as far as we can get for right now. We need another, like, 4,000 crystalline alloy, which is pretty rough because we, again, as I just said, need this for crystalline as well. So I think I'm going to set up a lot of alloy smelters. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to take a break, frankly. I've been here for like 6 or 7 hours at least. I'm going to set up some alloy smelters, I'm going to let some backlogs fill, and hopefully you know, the fires just put themselves out. That's what fires do, right? You know, you notoriously just leave them alone and they burn themselves out. And that's what fires do. And they don't, you know, torch anything else or cause cascading. That'd be ridiculous, right? I wouldn't imagine they would do something like that. And I hope you're imagining with me. Really, really hard. Like, really, really hard. Oh dear. This is getting bad. Okay. I am back, and I am ready to get going. And we'll start with a compressor of the Neutronium variety. Dude, I just launched the game. What do you mean I'm already getting audio bugs? Alright, so first off, let me talk about some stuff I did between cuts here. Down here we need to make this Essence of Peace. This is used in the Essence of Order, which is used in a few things. These are a little tricky of a craft. It's a lot of the condensed crystals, which is not too bad, plus some of these Tastes of Rainbow. We've made these before, these aren't too terrible. But notably, these require these peaceful environmental modules and the special dimlet for peaceful. Each of these basically requires a peace essence. So in total, we needed 12 of these. So 12 iron golem syringes, enderman, snow golem, bat, ocelot, guardian, wolf, zombie pigment, mushroom, etc. Very tedious, would you believe it? Because you just kind of have to punch each of those a long time. And my astral perks have my punches dealing a lot of damage, so it was very tricky. Thankfully, and we'll use this little bat here as an example, what you could do is if you punched the dead but not yet despawned body of the mob, it would still count to fill it. So like if you did this and, you know, you kind of hit his red but not quite despawned corpse yet, you could get a few extra points of syringe. This box over here is what that was for, just to keep stuff in while I would spawn it with roots. Yeah, so all that work lets us create one Essence of Peace. Thankfully, we get an extra peace essence for completing the quest, so we only needed to make 12 of these. Yippee. Additionally, I added a few more inscribers back here, so hopefully Tenebrae should be a little bit faster to fill back up. I added some more of these hydrogen crystallizers to hopefully fill methane a little bit faster. And I broke down a whole lot of dimlets, so we have a lot of parts now should we need anything like that. These special type controllers were very tricky to get. Well, not necessarily tricky, but annoying. You can find these in those little houses that you can find in the RF Tools dimensions, or you can get them out of dimlet parcels, which are craftable in this pack actually. You get a bundle of 16, and the main cost here is the infused diamonds and plutonium, which isn't too bad. It's a little bit of cadmium, but I think that's fine. I made it like 2 stacks of these, and we got, you know, quite a few extra. I've also been idly crafting some corruption cores here. I think we need like 12-ish of these to complete the pack. We've used 2 already, and here's 3 more, so we're about halfway there. Additionally, I've turned the second floor into, well, nothing yet, but I want to do some building here once I need to go AFK for longer. Pardon the minecart sounds, geez, very loud. But this wall over here is for our special things. We have a bunch of locked drawers over here, so that these will all basically contain a copy, quote-unquote, of these items that are of very high value to us, like corruption cores or essences of peace. So that once we get creative vending, we will be able to take anything we need out of this wall in case we might need it again. An extremely important example of this would be creative mills. I would love to have more of these once we have vending. I don't think we'll need them, but, you know, we might. Certainly would hate to have to craft these again, that's for sure. Anyhow, we are back looking for Neutronium again. And Neutronium, we need those anti-gravity hands. Holy heck, 16 chaotic cores. I'm loving these quest rewards, let me tell you. So we need to make some anti-protons and anti-electrons. We did the protons and electrons earlier with the hydrogen and polonium, but now we need some liquid antimatter to anti-ify it. And I think we need a whole lot of these. Yeah, we need 16 of each for 16 anti-hydrogen, and these look frequently used. Yeah, we need 100 per cluster, and these clusters are quite frequent. So that might take a while to, well, for crafting, but shouldn't be very long for us. To get the antimatter, we need an anti-cow, which is not too hard of a root spawning ritual. But before we do that, I want to get some of these TNT singularities. I know we need at least 2 of these essences of atomic fusion for the Plasmafier. Plus we need another 2 for each destruction catalyst, which will come very soon. So I'd like to get 6 of these worth of stuff, which means we need 12 TNT singularities, which is 300 TNT. So 3600 TNT if my math is correct. And we cannot do that. We need industrial hemp. And more treated wood, but that's just a buffer issue, so we can just request like half of this. The industrial hemp, though, is problematic, because we don't grow this, and I'm not sure if the plant interactors can do much with that. Imagine we could do agricraft for it, but, well, can we? We can. Maybe that'll make it a lot easier to actually run with plant interactors. I'm gonna go throw that in the Dark Realm. Hello, sir. So for the anti-cow, we're going to do something pretty simple. We're going to use this animal rancher to just milk it a lot. And then we'll have a tank down here somewhere that pumps into these transposers, which will each have an interface that does anti-electrons and protons respectively. Parallelization makes everything go faster, and there's no reason not to, right? And while crafting the Danknull, I accidentally crafted 20 black hole tanks instead of units, so we don't have any shortage of these to use. Those are the happy little accidents they always talk about. We should be able to just set this guy in here. And it sounds like they're going to town on him already. So we can set some recipes for electrons and protons of the anti-variety. And let's see if we can't grab 16 of each. Ooh, these are not fast. Alright, augments for sure. Oh yeah, this seems much more tolerable. Doing this by the hundreds is probably still not ideal, but, doesn't seem too bad at least. That was really good, right? I bet. Alright, so then we make some anti-hydrogen in the weak fusion plant. Nothing too crazy here. So next we need to make antimatter clusters. With 100 anti-hydrogen into one big cluster in the compressor over there. This will give us many wacky things. Most importantly being the neutron collector. So for said neutron collector we need 4 antimatter clusters, so we're going to need 400 anti-hydrogen. It seems to be quite the expensive craft, but quite the doable one, at least. It's probably just going to take a while, but that's okay, we've got stuff to work on. Alright, so stuff to work on. Let's start putting some pieces together for this bad boy. So cutting out all the things we've done before, such as ranged collectors, crystal matrix ingots, and white matter, we're left with 2 energy collector Mark IIIs, 2 oxygen collectors, one of our creative mills, and a whole lot of ultimate ingots. Ultimate ingots you get from crushing down an ultimate singularity. We get a stack of ingots per singularity, so we would get, theoretically 2 of these. Thankfully, I thought ahead yet again. I've done a lot of recipe patterning. I don't think that's a word, but, we'll work it. And we have 1 of these. And I just want to watch this happen. That was, way faster than, bronze pulverizes. Am I crazy? What? That feels like that should not have been that fast. I guess I shouldn't complain. So let's look at the energy collectors. Overall, these seem quite easy. It's singularities and red matter and hafnium, but, none of that's really hard. This is more of the same except dysprosium instead of hafnium. And this is neodymium and perfectium, as well as a penultimate machine frame, but I think we have one of these spare, so we can just make these. Well, I guess we still need the second one. We need 2 of these. Either way, it's just crafts. Not too bad, right? Yeah, we can just request it. I imagine it'll take a while and all the alchemistry stuff, but that's okay. What other option do we have, right? And these oxygen collectors seem quite easy. I mean, we've done these before, right? This shouldn't be too bad at all. Oh, no. No, we're finally out. No, I have to make more. No. No. Can you believe a stack got me this far, though? That's unbelievable. I mean, if nothing else, make a stack of unending bowls, man. The moment you can, make 1, heck, maybe even 2 stacks of unending bowls. You will be set until chapter 30! At least I feel very vindicated in my past decisions. And here's our antimatter done. Another addition to the wall. So while we're crafting up the rest of the stuff we need for the neutron collector, let's look ahead for these essences of atomic fusion. We don't have the tin-T singularities yet. I'm still waiting on those seeds to finish up. But in total, we're going to need 8, I think, or 4 of these. We need 2 for the Plasmafier, 2 for Destruction Catalyst, and eventually we will need another Destruction Catalyst. Right now, we can get away with just the 2, though. Or the 2 sets of essences, so 4 of these. So in total, we're going to need 8 fusion crafting cores, 4 stabilizer cores, 8 singularities, and 8 red matter blocks. So let's request the stabilizer cores now. Albeit I actually did have 2 already, so that's good. I'm glad I thought at least a little bit ahead, or maybe I got a really good quest reward. But for the time being, neutrons. Hey, where's my quest? Oh, man! That's fine. We'll need this stuff anyways, so we should just make another batch. Well, while we have this, even if we don't have a quest completed, we should at least put it down. I've got the watch on some singularities right now, so we'll just leave this here. This thing normally takes small forever to make 1 teensy eensy beensy pile of neutrons, but with the watch, it's at least a little bit more tolerable. I believe it was 6 minutes per pile, and we need many piles. There's one. Yeah, this is 1/81st of an ingot, and we need a lot of ingots. We need 4 blocks to make a crux, and 4 more blocks to make seeds. So we need 8 blocks, or 72 ingots, I believe, if my math is right. So that'll be a while. Hopefully it'll be a little bit faster, though, when we add some, maybe another watch to it. And 8 beginner singularities, that's not too bad. And so we need 9 nuggets for 1 ingot, and to hold the collector. I mean, I guess we already have this, though. I don't understand why we need to hold it again, but sure. Oh, I see. They want us to make more collectors. No, I will not be doing that. I mean, we get 1 for this quest reward, right? Like, I feel like 2 is not bad. I mean, how far is seeds away anyways, right? I mean, hey, we almost have 1 nugget of the stuff. That's good. Well, while that's running, let's, do something with all this tenebrae and wyvern cores we have. They're burning a hole in our pocket. May as well do something with it. By the way, in the past 15 minutes, it started raining like 4 times, and I've cut it off every time. Why can't they just give me a way to kill the rain in this pack, man? I swear. Maybe that's truth. Alright, so we're waiting on Neutronium to fill. We're waiting on Industrial Hemp to fill for more TNT singularities. We're waiting on Star Leather to fill for more of these Essence of Atomic Fusion. So what else do we need here? So the last thing we would need is the blueprint, which is just the essences. And beyond that, we actually have everything to make the multi-block. We just need somewhere to put it. Oh, I just realized I forgot these quests. Dang it. Am I ever going to need these again for anything? Oh, probably not. Darn it! Man. Oh, well. Well, we have enough TNT to compress at least a singularity, so let's do that real quick to get that quest reward. So we've got a lot of just stuff going, so I guess we can look at some of these other things that we haven't really poked at yet. Like some creative screens. These look really cheap, all things considered. We do need 4 of them, though. So these will be used in the Ultimate Machine frame soon, after Neutronium happens. So I guess now we can start looking at these creative batteries over here. So we have this one to start us with. It's red matter, normal batteries, and a mill. This doesn't seem too bad at all. Uh-oh. A little bit of a tree here, but doesn't seem too horrible, I think. These things hold 9,000 RF. That is horrible. But this one holds infinite RF, which is a lot better. Next up, Flux Pack. Just some more white and red matter, plus these resonant armored flux packs. We need 8 of these. What's the tree look like on this? Ooh, actually, I wonder if we have these, or maybe I crafted these manually for my jet plate. I don't remember. No, I believe I crafted them manually. Oh, well. I guess we'll set up some patterns now. Oh, this is going to be like a lot of patterns. Oh, no. Oh, man. All right, 1 more creative item in. How did you get power? What? Oh, the charger. Oh, no. Okay, how do I drain this stuff? I can figure it out. I got a battery to dump all this into. You. Don't be there. It's been good to me for a very long time, but I finally found the first use case in which it's been a problem. Thank you, wireless charger. Oh, I forgot to armor them. That's probably the actual issue. There we are. Next up, jetpack. So we need the Ring of Arcana and a bunch of free stuff. I recall this being tricky, so let's take this a step at a time. The 0 ring is quite easy, actually. Wait, oh, hold on. Yes! Yes! I'm so glad I accidentally crafted extra bottled frostfire. Woo! This stuff is easy. Alright, next is the ignition ring, which we need some colored lenses. This seems quite doable. And some lava crystals, which is also quite easy. We can just make these. Oh, they're non-stackable? Sure, whatever. One thing that does drive me quite crazy is trying to craft anything with the mundane or fancy rings, amulets, etc. I don't know why, but these things just never want to craft. You could set up a billion recipes for every NBT permutation of this item and be like, there's already one in the system, and actually, I also can't make it, so I don't know what to do. So you end up having to just craft it by hand or spend like 40 minutes trying to debug the whole thing. Drives me crazy, man. I can't stand this stuff. Alright, next up, Harvest Goddess Band. So we need 4 of the Harvest Spell Dusts, as well as some Benevolent Goddesses Charms. These seem pretty easy, and these are also quite easy. Alright, cool. Alright, and the last one, the Rending Gale. This one I recall being quite the doozy. So we need some upgrade keys for arrow damage, which seems fine. Okay, it's a whole trek for that, and a little bit for this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, so the arrow damages are annoying. I recall angel rings being very frustrating because of everything that goes into making one. Because you need the flying squid ring, so you need a flying squid, and you need the chicken ring, which needs a chicken, and some feather falling books, and another fancy ring, because I hate making rings. So, this is gonna take a while. But hey, on the bright side, so is everything else we're waiting on, right? Speaking of stuff we're waiting on, we can actually grab the Neutronium quest. The energy of a neutron star. Man, what a cool looking ingot. Oh no, dude. Oh, I need to make 4 jet plates. Alright, 1 hour-long detour later, we have not just 1, but 2 whole angel rings. Now we just need the arrow stuff. Oh my goodness, finally. Finally, a ring of Arcana. No quest, but it's pretty strong. I mean, we're not going to use it, but it's pretty cool. We will certainly be putting it up here in case we ever need it again. And we can make a jetpack. That's a pretty cool one. I really like the creative jetpack, honestly. It's pretty good. I mean, it's about as good as a jet plate, if not a little bit better. You know, we've already got a jet plate and no shortage of power for it, so that's fine, but, you know, still cool all the same. So next we can make the creative flux capacitor. So the flux capacitors do need to be empty. Overall, this seems pretty darn easy to do. Boom. 4 chaos cores! Oh my god, what a reward! Holy! Oh man, that's actually that is so huge. You know, I'm gonna put one of these up here too, just in case. I hate making those things, and I'd rather not have to ever again. Albeit that'll be eventually. Alright, and it looks like this quest chain is blocked off until we have the ultimate machine frame, as well as the creative flux capacitor for Draconic. And this seems... fine? That's a lot more steps. In either circumstance, we need to get the ultimate machine frame before we can go too far ahead, so there's no need to really mess with this right now. Instead, we have this Essence of Life we can make, with 100 Victus Crystals, which I requested a while ago, and this Essence of Death, with Mortis Crystals that I also requested a while ago. This would let us start the Rite of Cycles, which requires 8,000 altar power, which we do not have, so I'll worry about that later when I need to basically wait for more stuff to backlog. But at least we get, you know, some okay quest rewards from these things. And some more progress. Progress is good. I like seeing more of this page green, let me tell you. It's very surreal, I must say. Okay, I think TNT's been backlogging long enough. Yes! We can make 2 essences of atomic fusion. So at this point, once we have the Plasmafier, the only thing that's really stopping us from making the Essence of Matter is the Essences of Destruction and Order. Destruction, we have basically all of this, just not the catalyst itself, which is a more atomic fusion, so that's just waiting on a bit more things. But we also need the Essence of Order. And this one is a couple doodads we haven't done yet, namely this Token of Remedies and this Perfect Vacuum. The Token of Remedies seems pretty straightforward, just some stuff in a pendant, and the pendant doesn't seem too bad. The Perfect Vacuum, on the other hand, seems to be a little bit of stuff. Lots of different types of air, plus a perfect slate, but thankfully we have quite a number of perfect slates. Plus an anti-air, which is pretty okay, actually. We do this in the Dark Realm. Hey, we get to go back and go to the ritual there. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. Oh, whoops. Put that there, and then we do that. Oh, looks like all the particles are gone. I guess I've had the game open for like 3 hours or whatever. Maybe my particles would be a bit more fixed if I didn't get rain every 10 minutes. Well, I've been here for like 2 or 3 hours today, right? I have seen it rain like 10 times. How? How does it rain so often in such a small window of time? That's taking my breath away. Alright, so next we need 6 perfect vacuums. And we get 3 per anti-air. Overall seems pretty easy. I don't think we need to set a recipe for this, so we'll just do this manually. See, this is the hard part about what I set up here, is I don't really have a great option to get to this manually. But I do have an option. I'm sure this is safe, right? Yeah, see, we're alright. Alright, and with these 5 things, we get to make our first Essence of Order. That's a big one. That's a very important essence, I think. You know, like, everything orderly, that's pretty important. Also, wow, look at this texture in my hand. It's a lot cooler than I thought it was. Is this still... Oh. Oh my. This takes a while to charge, doesn't it? I'd been sitting here for like 10 minutes. I was like, why is this one still going? Well, because it takes 120 billion RF. I don't know what I expected, really. Well, I mean, at least it's almost done charging. Boom, boom, pow. That boom, boom, boom. 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 Is that two 2000 late for everybody? I hope not. Alright, so we can finally make the blueprint for the Plasmafier. Ooh, 16 chaotic cores, very nice. And so now we need an Essence of Destruction. We've got some more scary runes here. Ooh, a reactor stabilizer. This is laughing, right? Like, that's probably like HA. So we need some antimatter clusters, a primal crusher, and a destruction catalyst. So we need another 2 essences of atomic fusion, which we're missing treated wood planks. That's concerning. Also the TNT. So the TNT is even more treated wood. I should look at treated wood. Something tells me I should also put this up there. You know, I was just kind of doing some general work around the place. You can see this from the back. That's crazy, right? That's so strange. Yeah, so I've been thinking about where to put the Plasmafier. It's a 9x9 multi-block, so it's quite large. It would, like, almost fit in here. Like, it would just fit between these 2 beams here. But then I would have to extend this out quite a ways, which I suppose would be fine, but I don't know if it would really look that, you know, good. It's also very tall. Yeah, it's a 9x9x9, I believe this is. So I don't really want to just, like, cram it somewhere. I'm thinking about putting it, like, right here, maybe? It's not really anywhere special, but, you know, maybe we could turn this into something special instead of it being like a little garden that I never did anything with. Yeah, that could be cool. I'll move this and I'll build the Plasmafier out. Oh, scary. Very, very scary. I do kind of wish I pushed it back a little bit further. I don't know. Maybe I'll move this thing. It feels a little cramped coming in from this side, but I also don't want it to be super imposing on this side. No, I could definitely go further back. I'll probably move this thing later. I'll move it back a few steps and pretty up the place around it, and it'll look nice. But for right now, we're not worrying about that. For right now, we're worrying about this. But we actually need to worry about this first. Alright, so the only thing we're really missing from the Destruction Catalyst, and thus the Essence of Destruction, and thus an Essence of Matter, is TNT singularities. And the only thing we're missing from this is a whole lot of treated wood. So we just gotta wait for that, really. So while we're waiting for that, let's do something else. If fusion is anything like fission, something tells me we'll need 98 casings, 3 cores, and the controller. So let's take a look at each of those. The controller seems pretty straightforward, just a ultimate machine frame, neutronium, and fusion casings, plus a fission controller. But I think that's okay, we make these every so often. The fusion casings are thorium and neodymium. Watching it rain in real time, not happy about that. The neodymium is from a lot of covalence dust, which is fine. It's just a lot of dusts, really. The dusty thermal singularity isn't too bad. And these cores are going to be even more neutronium, plus some more fission cores. So we'll make a few more fission cores, and then a whole lot of Rutherfordium, fusion casings, and the like. So let me see how many fusion casings I can put together. We'll need 4 for this, 12 here, and then another 98, so 110. We are oh my goodness gracious! We are missing 17,000 pyrotheum, and the other ones. Well, I mean, that is just a buffer issue though, right? I mean, that's not too bad. Well, still waiting on TNT to backlog. Actually, we're crafting now, but, you know, still. Well, we can make 3 fusion cores. You know, that's a third of the multi-block. We'll snag a couple of these neutronium nuggets to make some celestial crystal cores without needing celestial crystals, because we now have access to this recipe. And we're going to take a little bit of that extra neutronium we have to craft 1 ultimate machine frame. The end of an era, truly. Look at it go. Oh, a thing of beauty. What a cool texture at that. Can you believe this is only white text? Like, why not even like blue text or something for this? Like, come on now, right? And remember, this is how long it took us to get to this machine frame. Penultimate, stabilized dimensional, alchemical, draconic, galactic, black iron, ender casings, iron casings, RF tools machine frames, Tesla core lib machine cases, the Ender IO enhanced machine parts, machine chassis, N steel chassis, Soul machine chassis, industrial machine chassis, simple machine chassis, machine frame, the machine block, and the humble steel casing where it all began. Look at that. That's like, what is that, like 16? That is 20 tiers of machine frames. My goodness. What a distance we've come. Ooh, 4 penultimate machine frames for our trebles too. That's very nice. Oh, the TNT finished, so now it's time to let this run for another 10 minutes or so while we atomically fuse 2 more essences. But soon. Alright, atomic fusion essences are done. Destruction catalyst. And we should be able to just put this all in here. And out pops the very essence of destruction. And this will fit right nicely next to the essence of order. So then an ultimate singularity, an essence of order, and an essence of destruction for, what is that, 30 seconds? Will give us 1 essence of matter. What a big machine. Hope it works. Not enough energy. Really? Oh, it takes 16 million. Oh, okay, well let me fix that then. I had this on 15 million. Quite comically, actually. There we go. Now it's running. Ho 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 ho. Just a ball of matter. Just a pure ball of matter. Let's see, we get a reactor stabilizer for this one. 16 techie singularities for that one. That's not too bad. And the fusion reactor. Or I guess strong fusion. So we need a controller, 98 casings, and the cores we already have. We can make the controller, and now all we need is 98 fusion casings. But we're still a bit short on the various dusts here, so we gotta make some more dusty singularities. Well, in order to basically just ignore the buffer. I guess we can request the chromium-barium compound to save us some time. Well, it's done. Our BBC, the big black cube. You know, what's really messed up about this is that the face is still like light gray. Like, this is obviously still the fission controller's face, right? Like that, like, are you serious? We couldn't even like change the edges? I mean, that's obviously not DJ2's fault, but like Alchemistry, what are we doing? Right, so why did we rush this thing? Well, it's pretty simple. The quest book says it is OP as heck. And because it is, you can make anything you want by adding up big numbers. So one of our common bottlenecks here is cadmium. This is number 48. So if we combine any of these elements whose values total up to 48, we can make cadmium. So say for example, we could combine 2 chromiums to make a cadmium, and we literally grow chromium. So that kind of, you know, nullifies the need for all the flying ointment, which is pretty nice. Additionally, we can make some pretty gnarly things now. Things like tennessine, if we wanted to. I don't know if we need this, but, you know, maybe we do. Yeah, at some point we'll need this, sure, why not? But also, it'll make it really easy to fill this thing out. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of recipes involved with this thing, and I am going to save you the trouble. Chances are if I mention something from Alchemistry, it is probably just adding some numbers together. Like if I randomly have lutetium, well, figure out something that equals 71 when you add it together, right? Like, I have faith you can do math. I hope. I believe in you. So I'm going to take a while to, 1, AFK for all that Neutronium, and probably make another watch to make it even faster, because that is going to take forever to get 36 blocks. Or 16 blocks. No, 8 blocks. And also I'm going to work on adding a whole ton of patterns to this thing. More specifically to this interface down here, which, you know, goes into that. Okay, so it's been a bit of time. We're going to do one quick segment, and then we're going to end the video. I just saw the runtime. That is abysmal. For one, we're now doing the interfacing down here a little bit differently. We're using a phantom face to basically skip any transfer time from crates to the reactor. And we're using integrated dynamics because this is the best mod ever for everything ever. It really pains me, but it might be better than conduits. Like, conduits are so convenient, but that's just so good. Anyway, these are the only recipes we're doing in Fusion. I know I used the example of like cadmium and barium seemed like a good one, but that took too long. The average thing we need cadmium for is like cadmium arsenic compound, which is used for fission coolant units. So we get 16 of these per 4 compounds, but we get 1 compound for 4 cadmium. So basically, one of these things is a cadmium. We cannot be relying on fusion for that long. We need 16 fusion recipes per fission coolant unit at that rate, and that is slow. Really, really slow. So we're only doing things that are very, very high tier or break down very favorably for us. And even then, we probably shouldn't be doing something like ruthenium still, because you can get this from radium. For example, this is one of those recipes I was talking about that breaks down favorably. If we make radium, we get to ruthenium, so there's no reason to run ruthenium in here, because we can get it faster from fission. Yeah, stuff that's really, really expensive is really good to make in here. Stuff like the protactinium, which we got from white matter, or the neodymium, which we got from covalence dusts. There's also a few other things, plus everything else that we just can't otherwise make. We don't get to go very fast with this, but there's a few things that skip a few recipes. Plutonium's a very good example. Normally we'd be making this in weak fusion anyway, which would also eat into our cadmium, but now we don't have to. Now we can just do, what am I using for this? Sulfur and platinum? Free. Nothing. Literally nothing. Free plutonium. I idled for an exceptionally long while, so we got neutronium seeds, we ran them through the seed machine, and now they are 10-10-10 neutronium seeds. So we have a lot of neutronium now. I also been crafting some stuff in the meantime, so we have the last 3 essences of enlargement that we need. We'll set that up here, despite it looking very wacky in our hands. And I think that is a suitable place to end for today. We finished all of our goals here, so that's pretty awesome. We got our condensers, we can autocraft death protection poppets. We got some corruption cores, we got some real creative items, real ones, and not like the bookshelves. We got a whole ton of neutronium, and we're doing fusion. I love fusion. If you know anything about me, it's that I love fusion. I think fusion's like the coolest thing ever in real life. It's just because it is. The sun does it all the time. Actually, that means it's the hottest thing ever, right? Like, I'm just wrong. Anyway, I'm off topic here. We did all that cool stuff, and we have another watch. Next time, I don't know how far we'll get. I'll be honest. It looks like we just go from capacitor here to battery, and then like creative tank. Creative tank's crazy, right? Like, am I crazy? That's all the purifying fluid we could ever want? We could melt down even more stuff that we couldn't get in RF tools? That seems kind of crazy. But there's probably a few catches along the way, right? And while we're waiting for all that stuff to craft, we can work on the stuff down here. I imagine this is a lot of wacky things. Stuff like getting an 8,000 altar power, or this essence of foundation thing is like a logic puzzle, I think. So you'll get to watch me do that, I guess, if you really want to. I guess I'll put like a spoiler wall next time if you care about that. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff down here to keep us occupied. And, well, depending on everything, we may just get to Creative Chest next episode. That said, even if we do get the chest, we're not doing Truth next episode. That I think, if we hit Chest next episode, Truth is the one after. I'm promising that now. I got something special for Truth. And I don't want it to just be like a 2-hour-long movie, you know? You don't want to see that. I mean, you might, but, you know, you get it in 2 parts. Anyway, I'm going to continue letting Tenebrae backlog, as it always does, and will probably never stop doing, ever, until the heat death of the universe. And once the drawer is full again, I hope to see you next time. Thank you very kindly for watching, and I hope to see you in the last, probably, 2 to 3 videos of Divine Journey 2. Once again, thank you for being with me along this journey, and I hope to catch you in whatever I do after that. Again, I'll be more sappy later. Bye-bye.